Hi, and welcome to another edition of Professor Black's History. Thanks for joining us, and as always, the reason we are here is just to give you some names of people we want you to take the time to look up, either on the internet or in history books, to find out who these people were and what they did. A lot of times when people start to get older, they have the feeling that they've kind of passed their opportunities for what they want to do or what they want to be in life. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's not so. It's not about how old you are, because you're never too old to succeed at what you want to do, or even to be famous and make yourself a legend. For example, the person we're talking about today, Mary Fields, known as Stagecoach Mary. Of course, Mary, like a lot of people back in the day, at her time, was born a slave in Tennessee, born around 1832, during the presidency of President Andrew Jackson, of course, also from Tennessee. But Mary Fields was a lady who didn't actually get her legacy and her life started till around 52 years old, when she moved out to Cascade, Montana, to live with the Ursuline nuns and work at the school that they had for Native American girls. Now, she moved out there because she knew one of the nuns, and she moved out there and became a person who was almost invaluable to what they were trying to do. Mary was a person who she hauled the freight from the town of Cascade back to the school. She also did laundry, and she grew vegetables for the school. She tended to chickens. She repaired buildings. So she was a hard worker, and she didn't play around. At one time there was an argument between her and one of the other people who worked at the school, and they actually got into a gunfight. That's something you should read about. It's a very interesting situation. But Mary Fields was a lady who actually became so famous in the town of Cascade, Montana, that everyone loved her. Now, here's the thing. After she had that incident with the person at the school, she decided that, well, actually it wasn't her, it was the bishop who decided that maybe Mary was not the best example for the girls at the school. So she was let go, and the nuns helped her start a restaurant. So she became a businesswoman. But her cooking wasn't too good, and she wasn't very good with the customers, so her restaurant failed. But at that time, she also found out that the U.S. Postal Service was looking for someone to carry the mail. They had a contest to see who could hook up the horses, the team of horses, the fastest, and Mary won that contest, and she actually became the first person to deliver the mail. But one time, I wanted to tell you this, I forgot to tell you this, I should say, earlier when she was working for the nuns at the convent and at the school, she was headed back to the school from Cascade, Montana, with lots of goods and things. And there was an accident, and she actually, the horse and the buggy and the carriage, the stagecoach and everything just rolled over, and everything fell out. All the goods were all over the ground. It was like dark in Cascade, Montana, of course, out there on the plains. When it gets dark, you can hardly even see your hand in front of your face. So there was Mary out there on the ground, surrounded by all these goods, and there were wolves, and she was surrounded by wolves. And as the legend goes, all night long she sat in that cold and dark, and she fired shots over and over into the air to keep the wolves at bay. And then in the morning, the rescue team came and found Mary. But anyway, after she left the convent and the school, and after she was not successful as a restaurant owner, she started to drive the mail. And she would take the mail from the homesteads from Cascade, Montana, to the homesteads around Cascade. Some of these places were, of course, miles and miles away, 17 to 50 miles away could be, and she would travel. And she was very, very dependable, and that's how she got the name, actually, Stagecoach Mary, because she drove the mail stagecoach, and she was about 60 years old when she actually started this job. So you see, you're never too late. She became the first African-American female to work for the United States Postal Service, and she was very dependable. She was so dependable that they did call her Stagecoach Mary. At one time, she even traveled about 10 miles in the snow both ways just to deliver the mail. And I'm talking about high snow. So she was a very, very determined woman. She was a person also who you didn't want to mess with. She was a person who actually, if you mess with her, you might even get into a gunfight. She loved to drink whiskey, loved to smoke cigars. She always had a pistol strapped under her apron, as well as usually carried a shotgun. And as one story, after she delivered the mail for about 10 years, and again, she was so faithful that she gained the name Stagecoach Mary, because what she drove was the mail stagecoach. But anyway, after she delivered the mail for about 10 years, she retired, and the nuns helped her start a laundry. And there's another story about Mary that's kind of funny. One day, one of these cowboys came in and picked up his laundry, and he walked out without paying and acted like he was not going to pay. So Mary walked out and behind him. Actually, she ran out behind him, tapped him on his shoulder. When he turned around, pow! She cold cocked him and knocked him right out. But Mary Fields, in Cascade, Montana, she was so loved that her birthday was celebrated like a holiday. The school kids would get out of school, they would have candy, and the people in the saloons and bars would all celebrate Mary Fields' birthday. And so she was a person who was loved by people in Cascade. When she passed away, they buried her at the foot of the mountain trail that led from Cascade to the school that the nuns had for the Native American girls. Mary Fields is another person, again, where you just want to pick up a history book or look on the internet for someone like this who can be inspiring to you. So if you're older and you still have dreams, don't let your dreams die. Just keep on pushing and you will succeed at what you're trying to do. We'll talk to you next time on Professor Black's History.